Everybody plan on using us. Get on national TV and jump in the portal.
Yeah. That boy fast. He was big seat. Had to look at it like, I got him. Colorado spring game is fastly approaching, probably on while you're watching this. But today we're going to give you 5 Colorado recruits that you need to be looking out for in the spring game. But before we do that, we're getting some exclusive footage here from Bucky. It's looking like the day right before. This is Friday, so I don't know when you're watching this, but this is literally the 18th. This is what the field looks like. This is what Folsom Field is currently looking like. And if you don't know, I think for the past 2 or 3 years, they've had Colorado specifically some bad luck when it comes to having a good weather when it comes to spring games. So who knows what that means? Maybe it's a good omen, maybe it's a bad omen. But what I do know is that throughout spring practice, there's been a lot of recruits going absolutely parabolic and crazy there with the back shoulder catch. I think Julian Lewis and Caden Salter out there feeding it. Don't forget Mr. Ryan Staub. The back shoulder is going crazy. I think that was Mr. Isaiah Harge. So yeah, let's get into it. There's plenty of players to talk about and speak about specifically. So what we're gonna do is kind of break it down so you know who they is and to look out for them. First things first, I'm the realist. Now I will say that honorable mention here, and if we have time, we'll talk about him too. But I would love to talk about Quentin too. Just slight honorable mention. He's a beast. He's a dog. He's a problem. But I think the new transfer in Joseph Williams, the true sophomore, if I'm not correct, out of Tulsa, or if I'm not incorrect, out of Tulsa, has been making one of the biggest impacts at wide receiver. I mean, everywhere you see it, he's making plays. Here's one, rolling right, contested. How about just a one-handed slamming, huh? How about it? You know what I'm saying? I'm bigger and I'm better than you. I'm bigger and I'm better than you. And then it don't just stop there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Heading towards that pylon for the quarterback. Another big boy catching. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about him and who I see him as and what you should look out for him. But we're gonna get through these clips too. Here is Colorado Joseph Williams again. I believe this is Julian Lewis. Oh no, this is the stop. This is the stop. 1-6. Guess what? Head tapping. And I think y'all are kind of getting the I think you're getting the notion here. And here he is actually stretching the field. It looks like, I mean, this is a weird angle. So it looks like he's either a dover, a deep over, or probably just a post, right? And his ability to track, I think this ball goes over his head too. This is a good track, an adjustment there. Yep, it's over the head. Kind of like that Xavier Worthy 2021 touchdown catch. Shout out to my Texas Longhorns. And he's able to look up and get through. So a dynamic player. Now, I remember we did have a conversation about, his supposed lack of mobility just because, looking at these videos. But I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I think if you've been playing or if you know wide receivers have been watching for a while, there's so many ways to skin a cat like that. That can be said about almost any position, but I think wide receiver even more so. I've been talking a lot about the dynamism, the difference, the explosiveness, the different vibrations and different body types that you have within this wide receiver room for Colorado. And I think he does a great job at that. And what he does a great job at is being a jump ball expert. Not just a jump ball expert, but being able to catch through contact, right? I think some wide receivers can be known as jump ball guys. And that's why I wanted to make sure I point out we saw that other, that other catch when he was tracking it too. Because I almost feel like calling a wide receiver a jump ball wide receiver in the modern day of college football or NFL is kind of limiting him, right? Because if that's all you can do is go up there and just grab jump balls, I think you're going to be limited. But what you're seeing from Joseph Williams is not just jump balls. There's a finesse to it, and there's an intensity at the catch point. And this is shown by Quentin too. And look, let's not get twisted. I think both of them I think they're going to be 1A, 1B in the type of receiver that is there. I think they're 6'1", 6'2", in that range, right? So they're not Marion Miller, who's like 6'4", 6'3". Marion is like a presence out there. With him, with Joseph Williams, it's that technicality and the fact that, hey, I'm gonna climb that ladder on you, right? I'm explosive, and I'm going up to get that ball, right? That's what you love out of a wide receiver that turns into a DB as soon as that ball's in the air. That's going to be needed if Julian Lewis gets to start, right? And I think it's going to be needed as well if Caden Salter gets to start, because you're going to have a mobile quarterback, might be throwing a little more out, might be needed a little more bailouts, right? So someone who I can throw that back shoulder to, I can trust. I'm just looking at coverage and I'm throwing up to Joseph Williams. Like, he's going to make something happen with his catch rates and when he's able to do so. That's Joseph JoJo Williams, transfer out of Tulsa. Joseph Joe Williams, not JoJo Williams. Number 8, if y'all looking for him, y'all can find him on the, anyway, sorry, if y'all can look for him, y'all can find him with those numbers. Now, one of my favorites, a true freshman, Quentin Gibson, the burner. I don't know if you can tell, but this kid can run. He can get up and that boy fast. He was a big seat. Had to look at it like Now he's only about 5'8", 5'6", I believe, in that range. That depends on who you ask, because some places have him at 5'6", some places I've seen him at 5'8". I've seen him at 5'9" in some spots. But one thing you cannot deny is one thing, which I think has been a great thing that I've seen from all these wide receivers. And I don't think y'all get it. In my high school team, like, I had wide receivers who like literally couldn't catch for the first 2 years. So when I see, like, it's such a, I harp on wide receivers that want to not just catch the ball, but make it easier for your quarterback. Go get the ball, dog. Go get it. And I think Quentin Gibson does a good job of that as a young player. But what I think he's going to be used for is going to be straight gadget back, straight gadget stuff. I think he's going to be able to get in a lot of places and a lot of spaces in a positive way. And most importantly, because of the next player we listen to, I don't think he's going to be the true slot guy. I think he's going to be the gadget guy alongside Draylon Miller. Some people got mad at me, first off, that I said Draylon Miller could possibly get some reps at running back. I mean, hey, the dude he's like, you know what I'm saying? But hey, he can do his thing. I think they're going to be the gadget guys in different ways, right? Obviously, Draylon Miller gives you that Deebo Samuels. I think clearly Quentin Gibson gives you that speed, that burst, that Jimmy Horn, LeJontay Wester. Obviously, that's what's it called? That's who Coach Prime immediately compared him coming out of high school with. He's got the burn. He's got the contact balance, which I think is the more important thing, right? When we talk about players like Jimmy Horn, when we talk about players like LeJontay Wester, it's not just, oh, he's fast, right? There's a reason why he's fast and able to do what he does at his height, right? I'm a big proponent on small receivers. Again, back to high school stuff. Again, I ain't no college athlete. You know what I'm saying? I got a bum knee, but plenty of stories. And I played with a wide receiver who was like 5'7", 5'6". We call him Wheezy. You know what I'm saying? And I promise you, besides one other player, and I can tell you him, he actually made it to the NFL a little bit. But besides that other player, one of the most electrifying, exhilarating, and automatic players I've ever seen. And why I say that is you can be explosive, you can be fast, but having contact balance and being under control of your movements, in particular with your hands, hand-eye coordination, there's an elite balance, right? Not all small wide receivers can do it, but I think Quentin Gibson is one of those dudes, right? He gives you those flashes of DeAnthony Thomas, right? The reason why some of these smaller guys work, even though they're undersized, I think strength goes into it, but like I said, they're presence on the field and their ability to not just stay upright, but to manipulate their body in great ways and still be explosive, still show that speed. And then obviously the hands, if you want to see it. Do I have that jump ball here? I thought I had. Yep, there he goes. And if you want to see the hands, sorry, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I mean by the type of wide receiver. Goes up. That looked like Travis Hunter against Utah. You know what I'm saying? Hit him with the. You know what I'm saying? Hit him with the. Yeah, y'all know. Hey, Texas baby. And of course, go. You know what I'm saying? Get his little work in there. You know what I'm saying? And he seems to be a fun target to get. And there you go. I love the tempo, and I love that there's a lot of speed. Right, and DEION is coaching him up too. There's a lot of speed, but he is not afraid. He is not afraid to get after it. So y'all make sure y'all go watch these well-off media. These are from like a bunch of different well-off media. Some of them are from the We the People stuff. Like I grabbed clips from. It's like all over the place. So y'all make sure y'all go watch it. Yeah. And now and then like we talked about, in contrast to Joseph Williams, right? And this is no slight to Joseph Williams. I hope I edited that out. Oh my God. This is no slight to Joseph Williams, but more so just a comparison of what the two receivers are, because when you see him through these, things, this is very Jimmy Horn, very LeJohntay Wester, very smooth, slight, quick. And again, it's not just that they're fast. It's that the effortlessness. Sometimes you watch people run and it's like they're fighting themselves. And it's you know what I'm saying? Like, even though they run fast, even though they're explosive, it's like, dog, that does not look comfortable what you're doing. There's a lot to be said about an athlete that looks smooth, fluid, and really comfortable in what they're doing when they're doing it. So that's great from Quentin Gibson. We got more high school stuff. We can go through that if we have time. But another player who I don't want y'all to forget about, I think y'all forgot about Isaiah Harge. But if you've been watching the well-off media videos, if you've been watching the spring practices, there hasn't been that many players more than Isaiah Harge, except like a Joseph Williams or Quentin Gibson. I think he's been popping more than Quentin Gibson. There hasn't been many players that keep popping up. No, not he gets a call out. Now he has like a special interview. No. I'm just talking about playing football. Guess where Julian Lewis is looking? 1-7. Guess where Caden Salter's looking? 1-7. He is starting to, him and Draylon Miller, from what I've seen from the spring practices, he's that safety valve guy. He's the LeJohntay Wester. Now, what I mean, LeJohntay Wester in role, right? Quentin Gibson is LeJohntay Wester in build and body and whatever. And Isaiah's got plenty of speed, plenty of change of direction. I don't think that's the problem. But specifically, the role that not Will Shepherd, LeJohntay Wester fulfilled, right? And obviously this is last year. They were talking about how he's a two-way player. Now, update, he is only playing on the wide receiver side, which I think is interesting because this is a very loaded wide receiver room. But after watching the spring practices and seeing both these quarterbacks so comfortable throwing to him, like there's one thing to catch a lot of balls, but when both quarterbacks consistently find you, and he's been lining up in the slot, he's been routing people up, right? And that's why I think that he's gonna be the slot guy. Like he's perfecting it from what it seems. Now things can change. I could be looking at it wrong. Quentin Gibson might make that jump. Isaiah Harge might just be getting a lot of passes, but might not make it when it comes to starting. But from what I've seen, there has been no other number that pops out to me as much as Isaiah Harge. So again, if y'all don't remember, I'm gonna let Coach Prime talk about it because I kind of went past it.
Important. hey, no. Y'all don't even understand what this great jersey means. Tell them what the great jersey means.
Great jersey means both ways.
Right, he's a two-way player. You only thought we had Travis. He mixed.
Now he's no longer next. He is just a wide receiver, but there's a lot of promise from him last year, and that's why some of y'all might have. It's easy to forget him. You know what I'm saying? Because that what it was, and I believe he redshirted because he didn't play at all last year. Fun fact, he did play last spring game as a running back because they were very thin at running back. And now that we're talking about running backs, let's talk about something. Now, this isn't as positive. All the other ones have been positive. This is something that you just need to look out for. Speaking of the running game, like I said with Draylon Miller, like I said with other things, before I even get deeper into this, first things first, shout out Brandon Hood. There has not been a lot of things consistent with the run game in the spring practices and what I've been able to see. But one thing is consistent is 2-6. I see him getting the ball every other time. Just like I feel like he's the equivalent to Isaiah, where every time I see him, he's got the ball in his hand. There he is. They're handing it off to him specifically again. And I'll also say that Dallin Hayden, it seemed like he was just bursting through holes. Like, I'm not sure if that was a reflection of the offensive line, the defensive line, or the running backs getting after it, but it definitely seemed like he had a bit of explosion there, and he seems like he was really taking advantage of some things. But the running back class right now, the running back room has a lot to figure out. From what I understand, Isaiah Augustov is gone. You have people like Marshall Faulk saying they want to run the ball a lot. A lot of players saying that they want to run the ball a lot, right? You brought Alvin Kamara in, and it was so bad that from what we known, the running backs at Colorado didn't even understand the basics of running through contact. Let's hear it.
One of the things I loved the other morning, Coach Falk challenged the running back room during this presentation in front of the team, like, hey, look, starting now, no one person is going to tackle us, and they're certainly not going to arm tackle us. Like, so you talk about that, the yards after contact, when you see a Hall of Famer standing in front of you, challenge you to that, and I'm looking at the backs, and they all chomping on the bit, ready to prove him right.
Yep. That was the biggest thing to me with Dallin, right? And you'll see it from most of our guys, man. If you go back and watch our first maybe week or two of practice, man, these guys were stopping their feet on contact. That was the biggest thing. It was like, hey, man, you stopping your feet on contact. We got to deliver the blow. We don't take the blow. We deliver it. So then you start looking at Dallin and these guys over the last 2 weeks of practice, man. These guys are breaking tackles. On the first contact, their feet is moving. So they started realizing, oh, shoot, this guy had me in the backfield. But because I kept my feet moving, I was able to drag this guy for another 5 yards. So they started it. So you talk about it, but now they start to see it. So everybody know, right? When you start to, people can do a lot of talking until they see it, though, right? So once they started seeing it, it was like, oh, it makes sense now. It makes.
Obviously, it makes a lot more sense. It'll start making more sense. And going from, like I was saying with Brandon Hood, we'll see him not only last year, and I think it's dope too. Again, now that we're a year away from the craziness with the transfer portal, oh my God, Deion Sanders losing everybody to the portal. If you don't know, Brandon Hood is actually a non-transfer portal guy. This is a Colorado true freshman last year that he just brought in. And he's been sitting on the pine. He's been sitting behind Isaiah. He's been sitting by all these guys. And not only does he seem to be poised to go, from what I've seen, a lot of Colorado fans are excited about it, not only in the comments, but just in general on Twitter and things like that. And then somebody who I'm super excited for is Dallin Hayden. Like I said, I don't know. And again, if you played football, sometimes, certain scrimmages or a certain way, hey, we're not taking to the ground when they get through. So it might just be a tap. Hey, let them run. Hey, running backs, make sure y'all, you know what I'm saying, do the full thing. It could be one of those, but so I'm going to hold it. Hey, guess who? So I would hold to think that it's that dominant, but I'm telling you, Dallin Hayden, from the running I had seen from him, has been run. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look at this. This is some real deal running. This is running through some traffic, boy. The ankle biters is at your ankles right there, and he's seeing it. I feel like the contact, the flow, the feel. I don't know, that boy running like he wanna, you know what I'm saying? He wanna be 1,000-yard rusher or something. You know what I'm saying? When was the last time that happened? When's the last time that happened? And there it is. Again, the vision and the patience combined with the willingness to get into contact right now. I'm liking what I see from Dallin Hayden. Oh, wow. And Deion just got smacked. I think that happened earlier too. But so I think it's great there. I honestly think the running back room is going to be okay. But a lot of people, especially a lot of Colorado fans, have a sentiment that, hey, maybe they need some beef there. And as you know, Deion Sanders already said that he's going to go grab 1 or 2 running backs in the portal regardless. So go watch the other video. We already react to that whole thing. So he's already guaranteeing that. So y'all be on the lookout for there. So, maybe he's not as confident in Brandon. Maybe he's not as confident as Dallin. Or maybe he knows that one of them going to be hopping in the portal here soon. So just to wrap up, last 2 things. Again, there's plenty of other players that y'all should be focused on and kind of looking at. I just thought these were somebody who's getting a lot of rumblings, and somebody on the defensive side who's been getting a lot of rumblings is DB RJ Johnson. Now, from what I understand, he actually got some burn because of DJ McKinney being out. He had some injuries during spring, and he's long, he's rangy, 6'2" guy. Reminds you a little bit of Quentin McLean, right? He's one of these freak athlete type dudes. I'm not sure if he's as fast. But again, 6'2", 180, the range is there, the length is there. He seems physical enough. He really, and he loves going for that ball too. Like, it is, hey man, you ain't. I've seen a lot of that, and that's going against a true freshman Quanell. But at the same time, I think his body, and his physicality, it gives another level to this defense, right? There he is on another angle, just snatching that thing away. And that's where you get with these longer, traditionally zone corners. I'd say it doesn't mean you can't be 6'2" and play man very effectively. But with this style of, over draping zone coverage, especially with somebody like length, you can put him in a zone, right? You can put him in, kind of monitoring a piece of field. And unlike Travis Hunter's range, which is just pure freak athlete-ish, when you're 6'2" with long arms, you can make those range catches and do different things, shut down, where the term shutdown cornerback comes from, shut down an area of the field. And he has the physical capabilities to do that. I would love to see if that pans out. Maybe nobody can get nothing off every time that RJ Johnson's in the game. You know what I'm saying? Because that would mean you have RJ Johnson, you got DJ McKinney as well, who people are very happy about, and that means this DB room starts to shape up a little better, a little smoother to their ability. Now this one, I ain't spending much time on this one, dog. Y'all already know what it is. Caden Salter, Julian Lewis, they spinning it. They're both doing phenomenal things. Caden Salter he's been such a great presence. He's been everything he does is veteran. Everything he does is here. It never seems too big for him. It never seems like he's frustrated, even though clearly he's learning a new system, doing different things. Ooh, roll to the left. He's got this. What has to be distractive, right? Distraction at least. Ooh, Mario Miller, and I think even better ball on that outside, but. Has to be a distraction with this true freshman 5-star behind you, right? But I'm telling you, every time he just seems calm, cool, not leading. He seems to be like a leader by example type guy. He's also helping Julian Lewis and allowing him there. So I hope if you're a Colorado fan, you know what I'm saying? I'm a DEION fan. I ain't a Colorado fan. Hook 'em horn. Y'all know what it's bad. But for my Colorado fans, I feel like you should hope that Caden Salter gets to start. Julian Lewis gets some time to sit. It just gets comfortable, and I hope he enjoys Boulder because in this modern age, you better hope you have an Arch Manning because it's hard to find one. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to find you an Arch Manning, and it's hard to find you a Julian Lewis too. So I also understand Draylon Miller. Also, it was a bit of a safety blanket with Isaiah Harge so far. Also, what's it called? Spinning it, winning it there. I understand if you want him to start because he has been doing amazing things with the football. With Caden Salter, you are most drawn to him because of the quarterbacky stuff, right? You know, the leadership, the whatever. How can he adapt? How can he bridge for Julian Lewis? Caden, I look at as like this utility piece, whereas Julian Lewis, I'm looking at this upside. I'm like, dog, he is this throw. I remember 2 weeks ago, I was gushing over it. I spent 5-10 minutes talking about this throw. Like, guys, this is all arm talent. This is pressure coming. He throws this. If you see where his base is, when he actually releases it, he doesn't get to step into it. He throws this off his tippy toes. He throws it like that off his back shoulder. That's arm talent. And then you see where this ball is placed at. Now, this cornerback is lost. Hey, that boy need help. But the ball placement is nasty. That boy got some true upside. That's scary. So I would love for Caden to start. I feel like if you're a Colorado fan, you want Caden to start. But it's gonna be hard with Julian Lewis back there. It's gonna be hard, with the BMW 7 Series. You out there spinning it, but you got that Lamborghini in the goddamn car. You gonna have to come on, dog. You ain't gonna let it sit in there for too long. But that's it. Those are a few players that I think you should be looking out for. A few recruits from Deion Sanders. Let me know if I'm missing anybody. Let me know who you're looking for this spring. Hopefully, while you're watching this, the spring games are already going on. We already know what's happening. There will be a live stream. I'm gonna live stream kind of as things flow, as the clips go, and things like that. Man, I really appreciate y'all watching these videos. Like it if you like this one. Dislike it if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy college football content, Colorado content. I do plenty of that as well. Transfer portal, NIL, everything else in between, man. I really appreciate y'all. And you're great. Just keep being great, man.